live from New York. It is the Coffe Club, and I am your host, Felix, and next to me is my co-host,
Dr. Marc.
Dr. Marc.
Ready to take your questions.
You can give us a call at
646-595-3275.
We would love to take calls. First thing I want to say is if people are opening up and looking at our show on and you see somebody that appears to be lying down, hurt, and then all different slides of of marijuana, and because we're discussing today Colorado, the new.
Are we allowed to discuss this
in the new
in
law?
New York? Are we allowed to? I mean,
sure, why not? Why not?
Well, I thought if we were in Colorado, we could discuss it, but I don't know about now.
But anyway, the serious part of it is somebody put out a hoax article, and it caught on that 37 people died the first day, and that the governor of Colorado was looking to rescind the law, and blah, 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 goes on. And it also had a picture of what appeared to be a couple of young gentlemen. And at the time when I put these pictures on to come on a slideshow, I did not realize that it was a hoax. Only afterwards, when I said, why aren't I hearing about it anywhere else but in this one newspaper, that I searched on, then I realized that this was a hoax.
Well, tell them the truth. This is not the New York Times, and not all the news fit the print.
Well, nothing to do with us. We just broadcast the news as we see it.
We just did what 60 Minutes did when they went with a story that turned out not to be true.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, but we know where, so don't. If you see a picture of somebody that's dead or appears to be dead,
well,
it's not from marijuana. Whatever it may have caused his problems, we're not marijuana.
Let's put it this way. If CBS could screw up, so could the CC radio network screw up.
Oh, I don't think we screwed up. I think I just want to explain that the picture does not really pertain to anything that really happened.
Well,
so it's just anyway. That's the end of it.
I also think it's in very poor taste.
Just somebody, whoever put this out they were pretty elaborate about it. And
this is something that even I wouldn't do, and I've been known to do some outlandish things.
Yeah, I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is old-time type broadcasting. We're sitting here in this luxurious broadcast suite talking to you. Dr. Marc, a young man of 39 years old. He's about 6'1", weighs about 179.
Wait a second. Who's lying now?
Weighs 180 pounds.
See, that's what I used to tell my students.
He has dark, wavy hair.
That's what I used to tell my students. And then after teaching for 35 years, I said, this is what I look like. A short, dumpy, bald little man.
You're just killing my whole point about radio. How you can do anything you want. You can imagine anything
you want me to tell people you're sitting here in your underwear?
Yeah, why not?
That's rather embarrassing.
Why?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sitting, ladies and gentlemen, as Marc said, he's 30. I said he's 39 years old. Good-looking man with wavy hair.
Let me fix your glasses.
And I'm over here. I'm lying on the beach. My eyes are closed. I'm having a pina colada. We're muting all the sounds of the ocean waves because we don't want to disrupt the show.
We could probably play it, though.
Yeah, we could, though we won't.
Have to find the wave first.
Anyway.
Catch a wave.
My point is, this is radio. We have to, we just explain things and we talk about things and, look at Marc. He was talking about his trip to Israel. Well, his trip to Israel was, he was watching CNN and the History Channel and saw all the different pictures of Israel, different places. And then when we got on the show, he closes his eyes. He lays back, and he imagines he's there.
I'm on the Via Dolorosa, and I'm watching Jesus carry the cross.
He's there. He's right there live, broadcasting from that spot. Now, is he really there? That's not the point. The point is...
No, yes, it is the point, because if I was smoking marijuana, I might very well be there.
Or you might think you're there.
Very true. And that's what this show is about, don't forget. Marijuana, the legalization.
Yeah, what do you think what do you people think of the marijuana being legal now in Colorado? And I guess it's going to be legal in the state of Washington next.
Well, as somebody said on I believe it was Meet the Press yesterday, these things always start in waves. They start on the West Coast and they slowly make their way over to the East Coast. So we'll see what happens.
What I don't understand, what I would think Colorado would have been a conservative state, but I guess it's not. I mean,
I don't know, but condo values there are going up real fast.
Well, listen, I got a phone call coming in now from 373-8991. Let's see who's calling in. And who's this that's calling in? And would this be Mr. Frank?
That's me. How you doing?
How are you?
Long time no
I heard
speak.
that you were having trouble with the... hold on, let me lower the computer.
See,
there
that's
we
what
go.
people have a
How are we
problem.
doing? Yeah, they said you're having trouble calling in. I said, let me try the number that I have. It works fine. I go right to the prompt, and they tell you you can either listen to the show. So if you can't get it online, you can listen to the show simply by dialing the 646 number, right? Then you can listen to the show if you're not near a computer. But if you push 1, you get you guys. So it's everything's working. It's working fine. But I'm listening to you on CC radio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening on CC radio, and you're using the 646 number, which isn't any of the numbers that I used last time I called in, which was before the holiday. How was the holiday?
Yeah, well, truth be told, Felix didn't pay the bill. So
I hate when that happens.
They disconnected us.
We have to make a quick switch. And what we got now is everybody can hear each other when they call in and talk. It's not like it used to be where there's always some problems.
And we can also...
Yeah, there used to be a lot of problems calling in. You're absolutely right.
We can get more than
there
one
were times
caller
when
in.
I tried to call in where I couldn't get through.
No, now.
So are you in New York, Marc, or are you in Florida?
Oh, no, Florida. I haven't been in Florida for a while. I'm back in New York.
Oh.
Well,
he's
done
back.
this trip.
But the problem with Florida was I don't like carrying my gun. And everybody around there, basically, they're all holding, and you get into an argument with somebody and it could be your last. So even if I stood my ground, I think somebody would shoot me.
Don't worry, you got
George exactly. I have many, many friends from New York that have moved down to Florida. You know some of them, Felix, James, and Dennis. And the first thing they did is they went out and bought guns.
I know.
These guys went out and they bought guns. They got carry permits. They're, there's a whole new thing that they didn't do here in New York. They wouldn't even think about it.
They all think they're Bat Masterson and Wyatt Earp.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're having a grand old time with their guns, and but they're enjoying it. They're going to the range, they're shooting, and...
Well, Mr. Marc here, Dr. Marc took a long trip. He flew to Israel.
I thought we weren't going to talk about
and
that.
Then from there he rode with the Santa Claus to the
Sochi.
No, to the North Pole. And then he dropped him. Then Santa dropped him off at Sochi, and he was there for a night.
I even saw Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
We conversed for a while. Let me tell you.
And you think they're smoking marijuana in Colorado, huh?
Yeah. So how is Sochi? What's it like? Because I got to tell you, it's like absurd. It's right smack in the middle of the terrorist part of Russia, where all the terrorists are,
Well,
and he's got a big job ahead of him, Putin, trying to keep these lunatics under control.
I know it's like a Disneyland or a Disney World. Okay, it does not reflect life in Russia. Trust me.
They
No,
got
of course
that.
not.
I forget how many miles they have surrounded, secured already.
Oh,
that you can't walk in without proper ID. I mean, nobody's getting
right,
in
that
area.
you basically got to be an out-of-towner in order to get in there. You can't be a local because they just corral these people, for
first of all, I don't think any of the locals. I don't think any of the local Russian people could afford tickets.
No.
If you want to know,
well, they don't need tickets. You don't need a ticket to get in if you're going to go to the Olympic Village and bomb it. Because that's the way to do it.
No. That I didn't mean at all. I'm just saying if they wanted to come in and see some of the games,
Well, even if they want to come in and bomb it, they still need a ticket to get in.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you something. That Russia really has, two economies, rich and poor. There is no middle class.
Well, wait a second.
There really isn't.
You could be describing America.
Exactly.
They may be a little more exaggerated in Russia.
Yeah. Well,
once again on Meet the Press yesterday, one of the economists said that over the last, let's say, 30 to 50 years, the upper 1% has grown over 200% in income, while the ordinary worker, the rest of the country, basically is earning 1950 wages.
Exactly.
That's what it amounts to.
No, let me ask you, is that the fault of the rich?
No. It's not,
why do we
the fault of the
rich?
Well, but the point is, there's like, how much money does one need to live comfortably? They will never. That's why so many billionaires are going along with Gates and Buffett, okay, and they are giving away. They've already pledged a good portion of, the monies that they've made to various foundations to help people, because they said even their kids don't need all that money.
Right, but you notice there's one thing, Mark, that's missing here, and that's they're not giving the money up today. They're giving the money up when they die. See, they ain't giving. They like their status where they are. They like being in the top 100 on Forbes. They're willing to say, my kids don't need all this money. They ain't giving away the money today. Even Buffett, or rather Gates, who gave all his money to Buffett, but when he dies, he's not getting it now.
No, a lot of foundations.
But Bill Gates has his foundation, and Warren Buffett has foundations that maybe we're not aware of, okay? And they may be giving silently, but they pledge. See, what most people know is that.
If I'm with Bill Gates, and I am the richest man in the world, okay, or North America, let's call it. I don't know if he's the richest man in the world, but in North America he is, because he surpassed that Mexican telephone guy. I'm sure he's writing billion-dollar checks to foundations all over the place, right? But the fact that he's giving Warren Bates that he's giving Warren, the hell's his last name's foundation, all of his money when he dies, right?
No, what he's doing right now.
Well, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you that when I came here today, I gave Felix $1 billion check for his foundation. I told him, go ahead and try to cash it.
Yeah, right.
Post-dated.
Post-dated never. Post-dated never.
Yeah.
The 12th of never.
That's right.
One of the things that Buffett did, he's making a billionaires club, and anybody that he's having the billionaires pledge half of their money to charity.
Yeah.
And what he's telling them, you've got $2 million. You give away $2 billion. You give away $1 billion. You tell them you can't live in $1 billion comfortably for the rest of your life, and your kids and everybody else.
Frank, I got to tell you, when I was going to take 30 credits above my master's, all right, before the doctorate, and I had an accounting teacher who said, in those days, I think if you made a certain amount of money, you were like in the 90% bracket. They took 90%.
Mm-hmm.
Just goes to show you how the tax structure has changed. But he said, if I made $1 million this year and the government wanted $850,000 of that, he said I could live on $150,000 very comfortably. I mean, how much does one need? You read about all these contracts that sports figures have, and they defer a lot of their money until later on in life. But the bottom line is they're signing $1 million contracts like you're drinking a cup of coffee. Speaking of the Coffe Club, like you're drinking a cup of coffee.
Exactly. But what happens to these guys are, from the time that they stop playing baseball, which is, let's call it 40, which is really a stretch, now, not a lot of them don't make it. The average length of service for a baseball player, they say, is like 7 or 8 years, and for a football player, it's 5. So why not make the money? Because it's going to last you the rest of your life. Because you know what? You played football in college. You didn't really learn anything. So what are you doing? You're working for an insurance company, taking people out golfing, and your life becomes. I have a lot of sports friends that are celebrities, and this is what they do. They hook up with Nike, and Nike pays them. So all this, you get the occasional guy, the A-Rods and guys like that make all the money, but most of them don't make. They make a lot of money, but it's got to last them the rest of their lives.
But Frank, when you think about it, go back 50, 60 years, when $100,000 was a lot of money. Baseball players, sports figures then didn't have the financial advisors that sports figures have now. Not only do they have agents, but they also have financial advisors who tell them how to invest their money. Hopefully not in a Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme, but they tell them to invest their money so that, down the road, they will be able to draw income from whatever money they invest. And that's what they basically live on.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think the funny story is, right back then, was the Mickey Mantle story. The year he won the Triple Crown, they paid him $100,000. The following year, he didn't win the Triple Crown, and they were telling him what a lousy year he had. He won 2 of the 3 batting titles, the batting and the home run title, but he didn't win the RBI title, and they wanted to cut his salary. So let's take him down from $100,000.
I remember.
That story with Mickey,
it's true. When you and everything is relative. When you think about a baseball player today who hits 250, makes a couple of $1 million a year, assuming that he's not a first or second year player. Let's say he's already renegotiated a contract.
Right.
For batting 250, he gets a $2 million contract. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
In baseball, you only have to get 3 hits out of 10 times up to bat 300.
If you're batting 250, 3 out of 4 times you came to the plate, you didn't do anything. You failed.
That's very true.
And you still get $2 million.
Or I hate to use Derek Jeter as an example because he had an injury-ridden season last year. Basically, it was a lost season, but he got a $2 million raise because that's what was contracted for him. It's the last year of his contract. He'll probably retire after that. He'll be one of the few people who was only in a Yankee uniform for his whole career. He and Mariano. Not very many people could say that anymore because they go where the bucks are.
Exactly. Robinson Cano is a perfect example of. Well, I'm not sure the Yankees really wanted to sign him. I just think they needed to get him out. They really can't make a decision because they don't know what's going on with A-Rod. If he's going to come back in, if they're going to ban him. If they ban him, they don't have to pay him. And that's going to open up $27 million in their salary cap. So, it's very interesting.
Certainly come in handy.
I think the Yankees secretly are saying, throw A-Rod out of the game. He's useless right now. He's hurt.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. But let me ask you, Frank, what about the legalization of marijuana in Colorado? Do you think marijuana should be legalized across the country?
I don't know. I think what they did in Colorado, before, to make the people feel good, they legalized medical marijuana. All right, so everybody in the state of California has glaucoma, and they go to these clinics on the boardwalk, and they get a prescription, right? And they go buy legal marijuana, and everybody's happy. The opponents are saying, well, it's for medicinal purposes only, and it's something that they can tax. In Colorado, they went to the next step.
You talk about tax. There's a 25% tax on legal marijuana in Colorado. Now, that's going to bring in a lot of money to the state. You know, when you talk about some states that really need the income, I mean, but then again, yesterday, as I said, on Meet the Press, they had a few people on, and I remember Judy Woodruff and a representative from Maryland, Donna Edwards, was saying, but how do you enforce it? You know, it's like right now, if somebody drinks and drives, there's a way to test how drunk they are and their reflexes. How do you test when it comes to too much marijuana? And then, I can almost see, I was telling Felix, if you get behind the wheel in Colorado and you've been smoking, and a cop pulls you over because you're doing 20 in a 50-mile zone, and you roll down your window, and aside from the smoke exiting the car, it feels like a Cheech and Chong movie, Cheech Marin would say, hey, man, wow, look at that snow. It's so white. What's there to see about white snow? I mean, really.
Exactly.
But, how do you tell whether or not the person is smoking,
well, they're arresting people here in New York for driving under the influence, okay? So it has to be, it's all done by blood test, all right? And it's the same as driving while intoxicated. Once you post bail, you go home. If you're driving under the influence, right, and the cop pulls you over and your eyes are completely dilated and you're starting to scratch your face going like, radical dude, and the cop realizes that you're stoned, you're going. They're going to take you in,
right.
but they don't have...
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't have tests. I think they have to take your blood. They have to do something. And they have ways of doing it because people are getting tickets for driving off stone, which I can't think of a better word for it. But this is just another way of collecting taxes. The marijuana has become like the sin taxes. Every time the state needs money, that's why are we paying $11 a pack of cigarettes in New York, right? When a pack of cigarettes is, $3 or $2 down in the Carolinas, so there's $8 or $9 in taxes. There's taxes on liquor. There's going to be taxes on marijuana. They're going to tax it to the point that people are going to be buying it from their dealers because it's going to be cheaper. And the dealers are going to be able to raise their prices, right, and make more illegal money because the state is going to tax the marijuana at such a high rate.
It's like the state of Nevada, between legalized gambling and the cat houses that they have that are being taxed. I mean, the people, that's why, you could buy a beautiful home and pay next to nothing in taxes because the industry is paying, the industry is paying your taxes for you practically, The
sin taxes. Those are the favorite ones for politicians to raise. Sin taxes. Raise the sin taxes. That's where they get the money. Raise them on the sin taxes, and that's what they do. And people say, good, all the opponents that are against it go, tax it to the hills. But all they're going to do is the dealers that are selling a nickel bag, the nickel bag is going to become a $10 bag because legally it's probably going to cost $20. So
everything's going to be relative to price. Money. Yeah,
you're not stopping the drug. That's the bottom line. So you may as well tax the hell out of it.
Well,
the only thing that you got to be scared about is the fact that these 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 15-year-old kids can readily get their hands on it, and that's a problem.
Well,
legally they can't buy it, but Uncle Mike is going to go buy it for them.
In Colorado, you have to be 21. Okay, so the bottom line is, it's like if a 17-year-old is hanging outside, a liquor store, and some guy's going in and he hands him a 20, and he said, "Can you get me a bottle of this, a bottle of that, whatever it is?" He can't go in and get it himself. Well, if he was going into a cannabis store, he wouldn't be able to buy anything. The kids would probably wind up with, phony IDs like they have now to drink.
Of course.
you know.
But if you think about it, if I'm a stoner and I'm walking in to buy myself some stuff and I'm 35 years old and I meet a kid, right, that's 19 that wants me to buy it for him, and you go like, yeah, sure, man, there's nothing wrong with this stuff, you know. And it's not like buying them liquor. It has a whole different thing. You know, people may find themselves buying pot for kids under 18, and all the kids are going to get it anyway. If they don't get it legally, they're going to get it from the dealer. Point is, it's going to be still readily available.
Yeah.
Well, they restrict the amount you can buy. So I don't think anybody is going in with buying.
In Colorado, if you're a resident, the most you could buy is a pound.
An ounce.
That
should hold me for a couple of days.
And if you're not a Colorado resident, the most you could buy is a quarter of an ounce.
Correct.
Right.
So you're not going to go buy an ounce for somebody else and they're not being able to buy for yourself.
Hey, listen, Frank, you know what my dream is? My dream is to walk into one of those stores and tell them I want to buy some cannabis, and the guy says, "Let me see your proof."
He must have been smoking quite a bit if he
my proof of age. Here I am, short, dumpy, and bald, you know. I certainly don't look 17, that's for sure.
Listen, I got proof about 15 years ago. I was in North Carolina, and I got proof going into a bar. And I think I was 50
Wasn't that a wonderful feeling?
But I also got proof that a Yankee game won, so. I went to a Yankee game, and the girl says, I have to check everybody's proof. I said, mine's fake, and I took mine out to show
That's right. I'm really 45.
Yeah, I lied about my age.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys.
Exactly.
I got to run out of here. I detained myself from going. I wanted to see how you guys are doing, but I got to run out and get something. So
thank you
guys
for
have
calling,
a good
Frank.
night.
Good hearing from you
buddy.
again.
Have a good day. Take care.
Okay. You have a good night. Bye-bye. Well, that was Frank. We haven't heard from Frank in quite a while. Different things going on and everything, but we gave him the new number. Remember, folks, if you want to call up, our number is 646-595-3275. Anybody has anything to say about the topic, the legalization of marijuana in Colorado? New York wants to go for legalization of medical marijuana. And to tell you the truth, again, to quote from Meet the Press yesterday, David Gregory had two doctors on. They're the presidents and CEO of the Cleveland Clinic and the Mayo Clinic. And they were talking, they weighed in on the marijuana issue, and they said that really medical marijuana has been prescribed in various forms for the last 40 to 50 years, really, you know, as far as oncology is concerned, you know, for people who are going through chemotherapy and to help stem the nausea that they may be, experiencing. I remember an assistant principal who I worked with, who unfortunately contracted cancer just when he retired, and he did not last long. It was, I think, from the time he retired, I think he passed away 6 months later. He barely started to collect pension checks. But, my wife had a book that was very common in the hospital about various, making various cocktails and Alice B. Toklas brownies that some people from the 60s, if you could remember the 60s, might be familiar with. Okay. And these were all used as remedies to help beat the nausea. So once again, the number. Let's get somebody to call in. Being part of the Coffe Club here, I am going to go make myself a fresh cup of coffee, and I'll leave the rest to Felix.
Also, Mr. Marc, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to get a cup for myself also. That would be.
You would?
Of course.
By all means.
Of course. And meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, while Marc goes off to make the cup of coffee, I'm going to go close my eyes and take a trip to, where do I want to be? I'm going back to the beach in Antigua. Has anybody ever been to Antigua? Beautiful island. I went there for my honeymoon.
You could remember back that far?
Yeah, I remember the Vikings making all that pounding noises as we were going down there in a luxury ship. It took us a month to get there. No, a week spent and a month to go back. But anyway, no, it's a beautiful island. And if anybody wants to go to a really nice island, that's it. 365 beaches, one beach for every day of the year. It's just a wonderful place to go. People are nice, food is good. It's so relaxing. You just sit back, relax, watch the waves coming in as you're getting a nice burn. Got to be careful of that sun. 12 o'clock during the day. Don't be sitting outside. Drive by the go not drive by. Swim by the swimmer pool in the shade. Get yourself a pina colada. Relax. Drink. Drink it slowly. Look at all the beautiful young ladies swimming around. Boy, it's nice. You know, all my life most of my life I worked for airlines. And that gave me the privilege of being able to travel all over the place. And I've seen many islands, and I've seen mostly a lot of islands because that's what first thing me and my wife liked. And second, I used to work for an airline called Eastern Airlines, and that's where they flew. Right down from, we flew to Bermuda quite a few times. That's a beautiful island. If anybody's been to any of these places, call in. Let us know what you thought of them. I mean, I haven't been everywhere, but I've been to Bermuda. I've been to St. Lucia, St. Martin. So, let's see, St. Martin's, Freeport, Nassau, both in the Bahamas, Antigua, as I said. I've been to Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, and, you know, most of these places I've been to more than once, and it's a wonderful thing. Just being able to relax for a week or so on vacation and not do much. Oh, also, I've been to Jamaica, both Jamaica and Queens, and out in the Caribbean. Very nice. But this is the thing that you can do on radio. You could just talk about what you enjoy, and your audience could just close their eyes and think about the places that they enjoy. It's just sort of therapy, which is very relaxing. Forget about everything else. We're here by ourselves with our thoughts. Very nice. And let's go back now to our thoughts about legalization of pot, as they call it. They used to call it. I assume they still do in Colorado. Now, I don't smoke pot anymore. I haven't smoked it for hundreds of years, long time. I was never really into it that much. I got high on it a couple of times, but I'm a proponent of legalizing it because number one, it'll raise a lot of capital for the state that does it. You know, it's good money for the state. Number two, we're going to make money in that, and number two, we're going to save money on not putting all the potheads in jail, wasting our time arresting them, and stupid things like that. I mean, marijuana is probably much safer than liquor, but the reason we have liquor is because people wanted to have liquor, and that's why it's legal. Same thing with cigarettes. Cigarettes, kill. People smoke, and it's a fact. I mean, it's not a theory. It's not a possibility. They kill. you know, but contrary to that article that said that 37 people died from marijuana overdoses, there is no such thing as a marijuana overdose that I know of. And if any doctor or proponent, not legalizing marijuana, please let me know what they're talking about. Where the people overdose from marijuana. It doesn't happen. And you don't hear too many car accidents being caused by marijuana drivers because they're usually driving too slow. It's a relaxing drug. It's not like alcohol, which can make you very rowdy and noisy. It's just a very relaxing drug. And as I said, you'll clear out your jails. You'll save money on not housing all these vicious marijuana smokers who are taking up space in our jails. So you save money there. You're going to start collecting taxes on something that people will buy even if we don't legalize it. It's not going to stop people from smoking. The only difference is now it can be taxed.
You can do without the flu shots. Imagine how good people will feel while they have the flu and they're smoking marijuana. They'll feel wonderful.
They won't care that they have the flu. But so there's marijuana. It's okay. It's also good for it's good medical. It's good. It has its medical purposes, and I don't really see what everybody's making a big deal about not legalizing it. It's going to be sold if it's legal or not. Have no doubt about that. People are smoking marijuana. Doesn't matter what state you're in, they're smoking it and they're buying it illegally.
Felix, I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you smoking more now but enjoying it less?
I haven't smoked marijuana in...
No, you missed it. You missed it.
I know.
My father used to smoke L&M cigarettes, Liggett and Meyer. And the theme for Liggett and Meyer was, are you smoking more now and enjoying it less? Well, just put that slogan to use with marijuana. Are you smoking more now but enjoying it less?
I doubt it.
Think about all the... Well, no, we can't advertise it on TV. But, in place of the e-cigarette that they're all of a sudden claiming there's controversy in advertising that e-cigarette that people use to try to break the habit of smoking, They don't
know. They use it in place of smoking. They're not trying to break it. They just want to use it.
Well, no, they actually are using it to try to break the habit. That's the whole purpose of it. That you can feel like you're smoking a cigarette, but you're not, and you're not doing any harm to yourself, in the hopes that eventually you won't have the craving anymore.
Well, when you smoke an e-cigarette, you are taking in tobacco. It is entering, I believe tobacco is still entering your bloodstream. And now they're making marijuana e-cigarettes. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't.
It's selling very well right now in Colorado. What they're doing is they're putting marijuana oil into the e-cigarettes instead of the nicotine, which they put in this thing, and you draw it in, and you're drawing in marijuana oil. It's supposed to be very good. Very, I guess I assume it's enjoyable, and it looks like you're just smoking a normal e-cigarette. And if anybody's tried that, you are calling in anonymously, so even if you're not calling Colorado, nobody's going to know who you are. Plus, nobody's going to care who you are calling this show.
It's very true.
I don't know if you hear us drinking a coffee, because this is the Coffe Club, and the Coffe Club started for the new listeners, started the grassroots movement, the Coffee Party, who are proponents.
That's right. We haven't done our call numbers lately or our song. I mean, we are the CC Radio Network, the Coffee Club Party. We are enjoying a cup of coffee here just the way Hoda and Kathy Lee would enjoy their champagne. And you know what Patti Smith says?
Nope.
She says that the people have what, Felix?
People got the power.
Yes, they
we
do.
have the power. Power to the people. Power to the people. People got the power.
Well, they don't want to hear you say it.
Well, that's all they're going to get out of me. Your timing is not very good, Marc.
Why? Because we don't have it on.
No, I mean you can't. I told you I don't have the luxury of starting it where you want to start it.
Well, I don't even know if it's on because I don't hear anything.
It's not. You started with it. I didn't start talking about power to the people. I think you're the one. I just started talking about the
but you do the controls here, Felix. You know. You know what I think? Thank you. Just got to learn to belong too. And this is a professional radio network here.
People have the power, and it's not her that's got to get the cue. You got to get the cue
from you.
Yeah.
Well, what have you been doing here but sitting here?
I never told you I was putting on any music. Not yet.
Well, you know what I have to say about that.
What do you have to say about that?
That's right. Thank you. That's what I got to say about that. Up for Archie Bunker.
Hey, when you hear that, you realize that we're just a bunch of goofballs. Hey, well, right now...
Speak for yourself. I'm proud to be a goofball.
I never said I wasn't. Right now...
I aspire to be a goofball.
Now, I'm sitting back here, eating a cookie, having it that my wife made, having a nice cup of coffee, BSing to a microphone of a headset, having a good time, getting paid zillions of dollars per hour.
Oh, our salaries are off the charts. You know, you people wouldn't believe what they're paying us for this.
You know, every other week we get a 100% raise.
Now, didn't your wife say that she's waiting for the money to start rolling in? That's what you promised her.
Yeah. Well, so far, the only thing that's been rolling in is the zeros. Now let's see if we can get a 1 in front of one of the zeros.
You see, I at least told my wife that being an intern, you know, I don't get paid for the work I do. You know. Yeah. Now, she didn't mind when I went to the Holy Land, and she didn't mind when I went to Russia. You know. Of course, that was after smoking a few of those funny little cigarettes from Colorado. You know, I thought I was going to these places. You told me I was going to these places.
But I think your wife got a little upset when you decided to make a stopover in Candyland in Vegas.
No, I didn't go to Vegas.
Really?
I was with. I have a witness. I was with Santa Claus in the North Pole. Would you believe that? I don't know too many people who would, but I was with Santa Claus.
Well, I'll tell you.
We were planning his whole route for next year.
Really? Is he changing it? He's going to go...
Well, you're getting the same gift. You're getting coal in your stocking.
Hey, listen, I'm getting used to that coal. I'm hoarding it all. One day when they go back to coal furnaces, I'm going to have enough for a whole year.
You would Ebenezer Scrooge.
That's it. Bah humbug.
Yeah, I got to wait a whole year to hear that again.
Bah humbug.
Thank you very much for that.
See, I don't have to wait a year.
But ladies and gentlemen, remember we are
here.
And the number here is 646-595-3275. We're not?
No, we broadcast on...
You mean all these bad jokes are going out to no one?
Mm-hmm.
You mean I'm wasting them on you?
Listen, how long have I been telling you? Your audience is me and you. And I'm proving it right now by not getting any phone calls.
Yeah,
If
I
there's
know.
anybody that's actually out there that would give us a call. Shows that there's actually somebody out there.
I think we lost about, 25 minutes again? 20 minutes at the very beginning?
I'm not sure.
So if that's the case, then we've almost been on the air for, I would say, about 40, maybe 45 minutes tops, which ordinarily used to be the length of our regular show.
Well, we have had, we did have an old-time caller calling us back today, Frank.
Good to have him back, yes.
And the thing is, we did switch our number. Our number now is 646-595-3275.
That's right. We switched from Felix's IQ to this phone number.
Okay. The other thing I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is with this new phone number, we've got a new feature. So when a caller is talking to us, you could actually call in, listen to our show on the phone, and when we see a slot, we'll just add you into the conversation.
That's right. You can listen in. We put you on hold for a while, and then we pick up the phone, and you can actually speak. We can have more than one person on the air at once.
So we could make fools of ourselves twice as fast and twice as many times with twice as many callers.
Exactly. I mean, really, let's face it. How many of you out there could say that you've made a fool of yourself in front of more than, let's say, one or two people? I mean, over this vast radio network.
We have followers in Brazil. We have followers.
But they don't understand us anyway. In Brazil, it's Portuguese, isn't it?
We have educated listeners, bilinguals.
Yeah. Would my smoke signals work if I sent them up?
I don't know. Do you speak Portuguese smoke signals?
Yeah, I use colorful smoke. It's a very colorful country.
It is, and also you got to remember, so we have some people in England also that listen to us, and I'm sure a few of them know how to speak English.
No, not the English we speak.
Yeah, but I'm sure we could figure. We could do a little bit of sign language, whatever, and blah me, whatever, blah me that, and blah me this, and we'll get along. But we do have a few listeners there. I believe we have one listener, at least one listener that I know of in Israel. We may have somebody. If there's anybody in any of the Middle East that's actually tuning in and hearing us, you wouldn't want to call it. It's too expensive, I know. So forget about calling us. We also use another very antique type of communication method that you could always use to get a hold of us.
Is that Skype?
Yeah, I don't know if they can call me on Skype on this. I would have to try. If anybody uses Skype, you can give us a call. Let's see if it works. I'm not sure. My old system used to work on Skype. This new system does not use Skype, actually.
Well, we modernized.
So I'd like to really know if I can get calls on Skype.
Better not give the address.
I don't remember.
It might confuse our listeners.
I don't remember.
And they're confused already.
I don't really remember the Skype number anymore. 516.
Oh, forget about it. You're very bad with numbers.
Yeah, I am.
It took you a long enough time to remember this number.
I don't remember this number. That's why I haven't written it down.
You have it right in front of you. I know.
That's how I remember. But if anybody wants to actually Skype us, our old Skype address, and it's still good, is Trucking to Heaven. That's the Skype ID. Or you can also use the email. We actually have an email address. Mine is Felix at ccradionetwork.com.
And mine is Dr. Marc at ccnetwork.com.
CC Radio Network.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's correct. ccradionetwork.com.
Always gotta correct that damn doctor.
I never used it when I worked. I mean, it's they don't have to use it. It's just I decided to use it in my retirement.
Like your doctor?
Yeah. I'm not that fancy. For me, Doesn't make a difference. Call me Marc. Call me the other half of Felix and Marc. Call me Tanto. You know.
That's Kimasabi. I call you Tato.
No, you're Kemosabe.
Oh, I'm Kimasabi.
Yeah, you're the Lone Ranger.
Oh. Hello, Silver. Right again.
Obviously, folks, every time I say this, I know we get a call, but I don't think that call's going to come today. But I think we're getting pretty close to having exhausted our welcome on your radio network.
By the way, I was expecting a call from somebody today. I know that Dr. Don is busy today. He can't call us. But I thought maybe we could persuade your daughter to give us a call.
No. She's busy, and she won't be able to call. But that's all right. I'm just glad that she's listening firsthand and not waiting for the podcast in the morning on her way to work, which is what she usually does. In fact, I don't even know what she's going to listen to going to work tomorrow because...
well, she can listen to this again if she wants.
Oh, please. That would be torture.
Yeah, I know. Well, she sounds like she likes to be tortured listening to this every morning.
Actually, she enjoys it. She says it's the highlight of her drive into work, which sort of tells you something about the drive into work from Ohio.
It tells you about Ohio.
It certainly does. It certainly does. But
I don't know much about Ohio. I know Cleveland. I know what has got the
Cleveland, the armpit of America, according to Don Imus in the morning.
Well, where is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Cleveland.
But
that's a few hours away from her. That's not very close by. I mean, it's more of an overnight type trip because by the time you finished, going through the Hall of Fame and everything, it's sort of too late to drive back to their house, But Felix, I think we should start thinking about wrapping it up.
No, not really. I don't think so.
I hear more than one bark. I hear a yelp and I hear a deeper bark. I think that one dog found company out there.
Yeah, we left them out too long, huh?
Well, it's a good thing that it was a mild day yesterday and today, but weather's changing right now. When on my drive over here, temperature really has fallen considerably.
I'm really, I'm listening to the radio, and I mean there are actual states that are shut down because of the cold.
Oh, I was watching the Weather Channel today. You see, during my retirement, there's just so much to do. You see, I almost got the feeling. I reminded myself of my father. My father, may he rest in peace, used to watch the Weather Channel almost as if he was going out, and he never went out because he couldn't.
Yeah.
But they did say that if you're in Minnesota or in certain parts of Michigan and north, you really shouldn't allow your skin to be exposed for more than 30 minutes at a time because you would just get a terrible frostbite.
I think that it's even less. But what they're actually telling is, I can't, if anybody knows the state, call it in, but the governor of at least one state banned all driving.
Yes.
In the state. Because of the freezing weather.
That was Minnesota, I believe.
I'm not sure, but basically you're not allowed to drive in the streets because I was talking to somebody a company that has offices in Chicago. Actually, Frank's wife. Her company has an office in Chicago, and they closed up today because it was too cold.
Well, they get that wind over the water, and it's a biting cold.
But also, what happens is I'm in the trucking industry, and I was talking to some of my truckers, and they said these drivers are driving through Minnesota, and the trucks would just freeze and stop working as they're driving while the trucks are fully hot. They would just completely freeze.
And what do you do in a case like that?
You're stuck. There's nothing you can do. You dial 911 and hope somebody can pick you up because you're not going anywhere. You can't start the truck. There's nothing you can really do.
You know, the truck, if it's going to freeze over like that and the locks are going to freeze over, you won't be able to even get back in the truck. How are you going to get back in the truck?
What are you worried about the locks? You're talking about your engine seizing, and you're sitting there, and it's minus 40, sitting in the truck, and there's no heat, nothing. How long before you're going to last out there? Before you start freezing to death.
You see? Legalize marijuana. Start smoking a few joints, you won't even feel the cold.
You'll die just as fast, though. Anyway, I think it's about time to say hasta la vista, unless any listeners are going to be texting Marc or anything.
No, that's it.
Any last moment comments? Nope. Okay.
No, my daughter is busy in Ohio with some friends, and that's okay. But she said she did listen, and she's really happy. Okay.
Not because of the show. She's happy because she hears you, her dad.
Well, that's true. She heard my voice. Made her smile, and that's
Robin, I bet you never thought it'd be fun listening to your father make a fool of himself, and you'll actually enjoy it.
Well, I see that the truth is I make a fool of myself all the time. In fact, Robin's the only one who ever laughs at me. She laughs at all my jokes.
Well, it's a good thing. This is the place. This is the media. This is the forum where we all come out of our shells and can make idiots of ourselves when we want. Next minute, we could be talking about serious subjects.
Just think, though, Felix. Right now, we are unknown. But one of these days, we're going to be able to walk the streets of Oceanside, and people are going to stop us and say, "Hey, aren't you those guys?" And we're going to say, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
What guys?
What guys? Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we'll ask them. What have you been smoking lately?
You see, Marc, as I told you before, when you so rudely interrupted me when I started telling about
I always rudely interrupt.
That's true. When I told you were 39.
That's what you pay me to do.
You see, I'm trying to. When I'm describing,
well, get it out already.
I'm describing as a 39-year-old, 6'2". This makes the ladies want to listen to the show more. And it doesn't matter what your actual physical demeanor is.
Well, I mean, the truth is, I'm 6'3".
6'3". I apologize.
And I'm 195.
You gained 10 pounds.
And I do have wavy hair. Yes, I swivel my hips like Elvis. Okay.
See?
What can I tell you? I can't lie about that. The truth is the truth.
The truth, yes. And then, this is radio.
Is that what this is?
This is radio, like
You mean they can't see us?
Of course not.
We got a screen in front of it. They can't see us? That's not a camera?
That is a camera, but they can't see us.
Well, what fun is it?
The fun of it is you could be 6'2". At 39 years old. How often do you get a chance to be 6'2"?
I'm just an anonymous voice to them.
Not anymore. Now you're a voice of a handsome
6'3".
6'3" young man who's been working out all his life.
That's right. Robin will tell you how I work out.
Yeah.
I get off the couch, I go to the refrigerator, I go and I sit down again.
Yeah, I mean, this gentleman makes Hercules jealous.
I do. In fact, if you don't believe me, just watch the movie that's coming out in a few weeks. I taught him some of those moves.
Oh, okay. So you can see this is fantasy land. This is better than TV or anything else because you could be and do whatever you want.
You know what else? It's also important, folks, because you have to use your imagination. Like Felix said, we're just two voices over the radio waves, okay? We may say stupid things, but it really takes imagination to put these things into perspective, unless you happen to be smoking those funny little cigarettes and then your imagination will really go crazy.
But once again,
But
I want to say,
I have to stick to the topic.
as I was going to say,
Colorado.
And to tell you again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really smoke pot anymore, but I'm glad that the law was passed. I think all the police activity all over the country and all the young men in jail that spend time in jail for smoking marijuana is all a big waste of their lives, of the money that we spend
prosecuting them,
keeping
housing them in prison.
It was a couple $100,000 a year probably to keep a prisoner in there for what?
And you know what else is important, Felix? For a change, we're mentioning the state of Colorado, and we're not talking about Aurora. We're not talking about Columbine. We're not talking about the latest school shooting.
Well, because if everybody's stoned, they're not going to shoot anybody.
Yeah, you love everyone.
Yeah, yeah, we're talking, we're talking in light of things that were very serious that happened in Colorado, but this is a positive thing, I think, that happened in Colorado. And I'm hoping to see New York follow through and every other state. Because...
Oh, it's like I said before, people who own condos in Colorado, I mean, the timeshare is really going up.
When I was watching TV, and as they were interviewing people online, they're talking about selling their houses all over the country, moving to Colorado so they could buy marijuana legally. Now just think of that. If they're moving out of Connecticut, out of New York, and out of New Jersey, think of all the revenue that we're losing. We're losing a taxpayer, a potential marijuana buyer that would bring in even more taxes. I mean, it's...
No, I remember, and Robin will know what I'm talking about. If you build it, they will come. Just remember that. If you build it, they will come.
I saw that in, what movie was that? I just saw that yesterday.
That was in Field of Dreams.
Yeah, but it wasn't in Field of Dreams. I know it was Field of Dreams. There was another movie that was much older than that.
Well,
it was an old horror flicks about spiders.
Arachnophobia?
No, it was eight-legged creeps or something. It was a stupid show. It was called Eight-Legged something. But that's some of the older. But that's what he said. He says just proves that if you build it, they'll come. And he was talking about all the people that were running to hide in his mall that he just built because the spiders were attacking. Idiotic, but maybe that's where Field of Dreams got that line from. Because that movie was definitely older than Field of Dreams.
But as I said, if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for Dr. Marc.
And this is your host, also, Dr. Felix.
You promoted yourself, huh?
Hey, listen.
That's all right.
This is the radio. I could be anything.
That's right. You could be 6'3", 195 pounds.
That's you.
Oh, that's me?
I'm 5'2".
Oh.
And,
no, 5'1".
5'1".
5'1". Yes, I've shrunk. 5'1".
I'm 5'1". And I don't look like a rock star. I don't look
all right,
like
you can put your pants back on now, Felix. It's all right.
I'm wearing my shorts because I outgrew all my pants. Sitting
That's
here
right.
eating my cookies.
Because all of his pants are set for somebody who's 5'6", and now he's 6'3".
Yeah.
All right, enough of this.
Dr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the show on legalization of marijuana in Colorado or anywhere else for that matter. We were discussing a topic for Friday, but however, it escapes me at the moment. I don't remember what it was. Maybe
we will have it published shortly.
Exactly.
You'll be able to look it up and
stay with us. And we
just want to remind everybody the easiest way of going to, if you want to turn on the show, it's www.ccradionetwork.com. And then when the screen comes up, press listen now, and you'll be listening. It can't be easier than that.
Oh, I don't know. You're talking to me, and I'm not very technical.
Okay.
Right, Robin? I am not very technical.
Well, for those that can spell, can write that in.
Just ask my kids. They'll laugh in your face like they laugh in mine.
Well, that's your kids.
That's true.
Mine spit them. I don't know. I'd rather be laughed on than pissed on.
All right.
What did I say that? Oops, I'm going to have to bleep that out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for listening to us tonight.
Have a good evening.
And we hope to see you on Friday, right?
Friday,
9 p.m. Eastern Time. Same channel, same place. Good night.